Hey, what's up, everyone? You're here with Goran from Pickdawgz, and you're here for some free picks for Saturday, August 26th. Well, guys, we have a very busy day ahead of us. In this video, I have 18 free picks for you for morning and afternoon games from the top five European football leagues. And then you can find all the MLS games in the separate video, and I believe those kick off at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, if I'm not mistaken. So get your free winners, guys. Put some bets in, and let's all win some money. For my best bets, click the link in the description of this video. That will get you up to my page on the Pick Dawgz website where you can sign up. And of course, feel free to use that discount code PICK at any of your purchases and get some additional discount. Because we have a lot of games to go through, guys, let's not stall this any longer. Let's get the show on the road. Let's kick it off with the EPL. Bournemouth against Tottenham, and that's an interesting matchup to open up the day. 7:30 a.m. Eastern time, of course. We have Bournemouth, who hasn't won any of their last two games, any of the first two games in the EPL. They have scored a couple of goals, but they have also conceded four goals. They lost to Liverpool 3-1 last week. While Tottenham on the other side was actually pretty solid. They got a draw against Brentford. They got a nice home win 2-0 against Manchester United. And even though they kept a clean sheet, I think that was more of a testament to Manchester United's inability to score a goal in that game rather than Tottenham defending well. So, with both teams having some injuries, having some depth problems, I don't see either side keeping a clean sheet here. So, I'm going to go with both teams to score an over 2.5, and that is minus 129. Arsenal will be hosting Fulham in the next matchup in the EPL, and they are now on a five-game winning streak. They have started the season with two wins, 2-1 win against Nottingham Forest, 1-0 win against Crystal Palace on Monday. It was a hard-fought battle for them, but they were able to come out on top. As far as Fulham goes, they opened the season with a nice win against Everton. Then they lost to Brentford 3-0, and this is pretty much going to be their entire season. They lost a few players to transfers. Uh, they do still have some players left from last season, and overall they are a decent team in my opinion. But you know what? Arsenal is on fire right now, and I do believe that Arsenal will get another win here. However, with minus 455 favorites on the line, we have to dig a little bit deeper for the value. And I decided to go with the player prop in this one. I'm taking Saka to score at any time at plus 140. I honestly can't believe that we are getting this price for him because he's always in the starting lineup. He always has a huge impact on every game. And once again, I think he's going to get a nice game here. He's going to get about 80, 85 minutes or so, if not the entire game. And I think he's going to get on the scoreboard. So Arsenal against Fulham, I'm taking Saka to score at any time. Brentford and Crystal Palace are facing off in the next matchup, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Both teams are kind of struggling right now, especially Brentford, who is coming off of a nice win against Fulham, but before that they were on a draw streak, and that win against Fulham will certainly have a huge impact on them. As far as Crystal Palace goes, they started the season with a win against Sheffield, but then they lost to Arsenal on Monday 1-0, even though they had a tons of chances in that game to get on the scoreboard. And it's only by pure dumb luck that Arsenal was able to defend in that game. As far as this one goes, we have seen some both teams to score. We have seen some overs, some unders, and stuff like that. But I'm gonna go with both teams to score in this one. I think that Crystal Palace definitely deserves to get on the scoreboard, and with everything they have been showing us so far this season, I think they will. But then again, Brentford at home is absolutely stunning, and I also think that they will get on the scoreboard as well. So, Brentford against Crystal Palace, both teams to score. Everton and Wolverhampton are facing off at Goodison Park. That's also a 10 a.m. Eastern Time game. And even though Everton has been showing some positive things at the start of the season, they are on a two-game losing streak and they still haven't scored a single goal. As far as Wolverhampton goes, they had a very good performance against United in the season opener, but then they basically fell apart against Brighton and they ended up losing that game 4-1. But this is potentially a good spot for them to get back on a positive streak. And with that in mind, guys, I don't see either side keeping a clean sheet here. Might be a tight game, but I see at least a 1-1 result, if nothing more. So I'm going to go with both teams to score, minus 114. With Everton not being able to score goals so far, they will definitely do everything they can to get it here at home in front of their fans. So Everton against Wolves, both teams to score. Manchester United is hosting Nottingham Forest, and they will also be looking for their second win of the season. They have beaten Wolverhampton, but then they lost to Tottenham 2-0. While Nottingham Forest on the other side at home is absolutely outstanding. On the road, it's a different story. In this matchup, Manchester United has been super dominant, and they haven't lost to Nottingham Forest in their last five home games. And I think they will get a win here. I think that they are definitely due for a great performance, especially in that attacking end. So I'm gonna go with Manchester United to win and over 2.5 goals, minus 141. It's not a great price. It's not a bad price either. So I'm taking United to win and over 2.5 goals. The final game of the day in the EPL is between Brighton and West Ham, and I'm keeping this one very, very simple. I know that West Ham is a good team. I know that they have a lot of quality. They're still finding their game, but with the way Brighton has been playing so far this season, eight scored goals in two games, two conceded goals, yes, but that's only two conceded goals. They can outscore any team in the EPL right now. And like I said, with the way they have been playing, we simply have to ride with Brighton. So I'm gonna go with Brighton to win and over 2.5 goals, minus 104. Outstanding price. I think that they have so much talent in that attacking end, and they have such a great playing style that they will definitely be one of the teams to watch this season. That's it for the EPL, guys. Now we are moving on to La Liga, and I have only one game from La Liga on Saturday, to be honest, and that is between Sevilla and Girona. Now, I know that Sevilla hasn't showed a lot in La Liga this season, and they are actually on a three-game losing streak. They ended up losing to Alaves 4-3 on the road. Before that, they lost to Manchester City after a penalty shootout, and before that, they have lost to Valencia in the season opener. But I still think that Sevilla is an outstanding team. I still think that they have a nice mix of youth and of those veterans with a lot of experience. There have been some mistakes, yes, at the start of the season. I know they haven't won any of their last four games. They haven't won any of their last four games against Girona as well. And Girona, on top of that, is in an outstanding form right now. Uh, I somehow have a gut feeling that Sevilla is going to get this one. So I'm going to go with Sevilla on the money line, the plus 106. And let's hope for the best in this one. And it's going to be tight, but I think that Sevilla has what it takes to get on the scoreboard and to get their first win of the season. Now we are moving on to the Italian Serie A, guys, and we have a couple of interesting matchups here. Frosinone is playing against Atalanta, and they have started the season with a loss to Napoli 3-1, while Atalanta has beaten Sassuolo 2-0 on the road. And honestly, I see them continuing that here as well. They have never lost to Frosinone in the past. They will not lose here. They have more depth, they have more quality, and overall, they are the better team here. So I'm going to take Atalanta on the money line, which is minus 155. It's not a great price, but it's definitely not bad at all. Uh, Verona and Roma are facing off in the next matchup in Serie A, and Verona is actually on a two-game winning streak right now. And in their season opener, they have beaten Empoli 1-0 on the road, while Roma has gotten a draw against Salernitana 2-2, which was definitely a shame because they are a solid team. They are the better team, and they actually dropped those 2 points at home. But I think they will try to bounce back here against Verona. So once again, without being too complicated, I'm gonna go with Roma on the money line, minus 125. I think it's gonna be a close game, but I think that Roma will come out on top in this match. Milan and Torino are facing off at 2:45 p.m. Eastern Time, and Milan is now on a three-game winning streak. But Torino has been known to beat Milan in the past, whether they played at home or on the road. They were able to beat them a few times, and since they are coming off of a draw against Cagliari 0-0, I think that maybe Torino will focus a little bit more on the defense here, but they are definitely good enough to get Milan on those counter attacks to get on the scoreboard at least, if not win this game. But I do believe that Torino has a decent chance here. So instead of choosing the sides, I decided to go with both teams to score, which is plus 108. I honestly think this is a fantastic price, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a 1-1 game here, or maybe even 2-1 for either side. So Milan against Torino, I'm gonna go with both teams to score. Now we are moving on to German Bundesliga, guys, and we have 6 games here, if I'm not mistaken, and we are gonna kick it off with this Heidenheim versus Hoffenheim matchup. Heidenheim, the newcomer to Bundesliga, and they have started the season with a loss 2-0 against Wolfsburg. While Hoffenheim had a very, very good preseason, but they started the season with a loss to Freiburg at home 2-1. Now, it's clear that Hoffenheim has more offense here, and that Heidenheim hasn't been in that good of form, and they lack quality. They lack the depth to compete in uh, in Bundesliga in this early season. But instead of choosing the sides, I'm gonna go with goals. And Hoffenheim's last 9 games in a row have gone over 2.5. So I'm gonna go with the same pick here. Heidenheim against Hoffenheim over 2.5 goals. Cologne and Wolfsburg are facing off in the next matchup, guys. And one team is coming off of a win, and that's Wolfsburg, who started the season with a 2-0 win. While Cologne is coming off of a loss to Borussia Dortmund 1-0, and that was a game where they actually had decent chances to get on the scoreboard to get a win, maybe even a draw. They conceded a goal in 83rd minute or something like that, and unfortunately for them, they lost. But at home, Köln is a very, very solid team, and Wolfsburg knows what they are fighting against, and I think this is going to be an interesting game. And on top of that, Wolfsburg has a couple of injuries. Köln has a couple of injuries. So I expect this to be a fairly even matchup. So instead of the sides, once again, guys, I'm going to go with both teams to score in over 2.5, minus 112. Neither team has gone over 2.5 in their first game of the season, but I do see it here, to be honest. So Köln against Wolfsburg, both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. Darmstadt is hosting Union Berlin in the next matchup, and we all know that Union Berlin is an outstanding team at home. They are undefeated since last season. They haven't lost a single home game in the entire span of the season. They kept doing the same this season as well. They got a nice win, 4-1 against Mainz. And now they're playing against Darmstadt on the road, the team that hasn't won any of their last 7 games, and the team that really can't score many goals. So keeping this one simple, guys, once again, I'm taking Union Berlin on the money line, minus 107. I think that's a fantastic price of a better team, more experienced team, and a team that's on a nice 4 game winning streak. So I'm taking Union Berlin on the money line. Freiburg and Werder Bremen are playing in the next matchup, guys. And Freiburg is actually on a 2 game winning streak, while Werder has started the season same as they started last one, that's with the loss. And once again, they are struggling quite a lot. They haven't won any of their last 6 games. They haven't won any of their last 6 games on the road. And they are actually on a 3 game losing streak overall. So everything is pointing towards Freiburg here, who has scored 4 goals in their last 2 games. They kept a clean sheet just before the season started, and they got a nice win against Hoffenheim last week, which was 2-1 on the road. So I'm going to go with Freiburg to win in over 2.5 goals, plus 133. I definitely expect a high scoring game here, but I do see Freiburg getting out on top. So Freiburg to win and over 2.5 goals. Bochum is hosting Borussia Dortmund in the next matchup, and as we can see, Bochum is a pretty heavy favorite. They haven't lost any of their last 17 games. They haven't lost any of their last 9 games on the road, and they are actually on a 7 game winning streak when they are playing on the road. Now, on top of that, Bochum is on a huge, huge losing streak. They have lost their last 6 games in a row. They haven't scored in 2 of those games. They have conceded a ton of goals. They have conceded 5 against Stuttgart, which is saying a lot about this team. So I do lean towards Borussia, to be honest, and I do like goals in this one. But when playing at home against Borussia Dortmund, Bochum has scored pretty much consistently in every game they played against. So I'm going to go for a little bit of a value here. I'm going to take both teams to score and over 2.5. Well, there's no value. It's minus 115. What I was going to say, I was going to take both teams to score and Borussia Dortmund to win. And that should be nice plus money. Honestly, I definitely think it's worth a shot for maybe like half a unit or something like that. So Bochum against Borussia Dortmund, both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. The last game of Bundesliga that we have on Saturday is between Borussia Mönchengladbach and Bayer Leverkusen. Both teams are playing pretty well right now. Leverkusen on the four-game winning streak. Gladbach hasn't lost any of their last 11 games. And this is quite the interesting matchup. I think that the last time these two teams met, there were like four penalty shots or something like that. We have seen over 2.5 goals hit in the last four games in a row. We have seen over 3.5. We have seen over 4.5 as well. We have seen both teams scoring, and with the fact that both teams are playing in great form right now, I do expect goals in this one once again, guys. So I'm gonna go with over 3.5 goals plus 120. I'm not gonna bother putting both teams to score in this as well because plus 120 is good enough. But if you want more value, I honestly think that both teams to score is gonna hit as well. So Borussia Mönchengladbach against Leverkusen over 3.5 goals. Now we are up to the French League One, guys, and we have two games on Saturday. We have Marseille playing against Brest. Marseille, who made a few notable signings in the off-season, they still are buying some players. They're still on the market, and they're coming into this game as a nice favorites at minus 200. But they haven't won any of their last two games. So we got to be careful with this one. I know that Marseille is the better team here, but Brest is actually undefeated in their last four games. So there might be a way to get both teams to score in this one for sure. But I'm gonna go with the home team here. I'm gonna go with Marseille at minus one, which is minus 113. I think that they will get a first win of the season. Actually, not first. They already have a win this season, if I'm not mistaken, and that was against Reims at home. But I think that they will go back on the winning streak in this game. So I'm gonna go with Marseille minus one at minus 113. And the last pick of this video, guys, is PSG versus Lens. PSG is struggling quite a lot in this early season. They have scored only one goal in their first two games of the season. They have conceded one against Toulouse last week. But the more notable thing is that Mbappe is back in the lineup, and with him in the lineup, this PSG team is playing a lot better than they were in that first game of the season. Lens, on the other side, has lost a few players. They also have some injuries, and their depth is definitely reduced quite a lot, as we can see by their results, because they haven't won any of their last five games. Now, when playing at home, PSG hasn't lost to Lens in their last nine matches, and I think it's going to stay that way. So I'm going to go with PSG to win and over 1.5 goals, minus 121. For two games now, I've been pushing PSG to win and over 2.5 goals. It didn't happen. So I'm being a little bit more careful with this one, and I'm going with PSG to win and over 1.5 goals at minus 121. That's it, everyone, for this video. Thank you for taking time to watch it. Thank you for joining me here. We do appreciate those likes, so keep them coming, guys. And of course, feel free to leave the comments on any of these videos, and I'll be more than happy to answer any of the questions you might have. That's it, guys. Enjoy your Saturday. Let's win some money, and stay tuned for more free picks coming up to the Pick Dawgz YouTube channel.